Hi, everyone. Welcome to English 102 Week 5. You guys, we only have this week and until Friday next week, and then our course is finished, which is just absolutely insane. I mean, this has gone by so quickly. It's been a lot of fun, though. I think this is the first time I've done this course as a 6-week course, but hopefully in the evaluation you guys are going to do next week, you can let me know what worked and what didn't, and I hope you're not feeling too overwhelmed, but just know we've only got a little bit left. So I wanted to go over some takeaways from last week. We worked on your working thesis, which is that answer to your research question, and it's going to sort of propel the findings section of your research essay forward. So remember that this is not a question. It's the answer to a question. It's not a fact. It's not a observation, but an argument. Okay? So some of you I think are still tiptoeing around the idea of sort of strongly stating your, you know, researched opinion about your social issue. But this is your chance to say, this is what I think, and then use your sources to say, this is why. Um, it's an educated argument, okay? It's not something that should be static, but it should give a position on your social issue, okay? So I know for several of you in the discussion board, your classmates and I gave you some feedback that maybe you want to revise your working thesis to make something more argumentative, more specific, a little more focused. I want you to take that feedback seriously. I do expect your working thesis to change from your discussion board to what it ends up with in your essay. All right. And then I'm also noticing some of you are still struggling with in-text citations in APA. Seems like your reference page you got down. It looks like the cover pages and the rest is looking good. Your in-text citation, I just want to reiterate, you want the author's last name and year, only the last name of the author and the year in parentheses if you're paraphrasing, and then a page number if you're quoting. Okay, so those are some just ideas to keep in mind for week 5 and 6. So I'm just going to touch on the assignments for week 5. We've got readings and discussion board 5. The discussion board is talking about sort of using you and your experience in your research. One of the readings for this week is called I Need You to Say I, and it kind of discusses how you, as a researcher, can involve your own experience now that you've looked at information from other places. So I really do want you guys to be considering, okay, now that I am positioning myself within this academic conversation, how and when should I use the word I? I know some of you may have been taught to remove I language from your writing. If you were in my 101 class, we do this. And I know you might be like, oh my God, you said I couldn't do this. But what I want you to understand is that sometimes using yourself and your experience in your research is appropriate. And I want you to ask yourself if that is the case for you here. Then the other two assignments for this week are the draft of your individual findings section, which I would like by Friday, and then the group research essay draft, which you'll need to work on in your group and have submitted on Sunday. It's really, really, really important that you all submit these this week because this is your chance to get feedback from me before you get a final grade for this project. Okay, so your individual findings draft and then your group research essay draft will be part of that final essay points. All right, so while you are working on your individual findings this week, I just wanted to give you guys some pointers. Start with your working thesis. All right, revise your thesis, make sure that it's debatable, that it's specific, that it's focused, and that it's giving your opinion about your social issue in a way that's kind of distinct in your group. All right, so I know you've all chosen the same social issue, but each of your finding sections need to say something different. Then you're going to use your thesis to argue your position. You're going to give reasons, sources, and your experience as support. Do those 2 readings this week, it'll help you. Make sure that you have 2 quotes and 2 paraphrases at least, plus a reference page. The findings section needs to be at least 2 pages. I would say a well-developed finding section is 3 to 4. And, you know, given all of the sources that you guys have found, I don't think 3 to 4 pages is difficult at all. Then when you've kind of finished your individual findings section, what I'd like you guys to do is work with your group on compiling those together and submitting your research essay draft as a group. So last week you should have discussed with your group breaking up the different sections and talking about who's going to write your call to action. So I'd like you guys this week to discuss what your call of action is going to be. Your call to action needs to be essentially the sort of, now that your reader has read through your research, has sort of been in this academic conversation with you, their next question is, okay, well, what can I do? What should I do now that I'm reading this research? So your call to action is going to be asking your reader to do X related to this social issue. Okay. Um, I do recommend that you guys organize your draft with subheadings. Um, this is something unique to APA style that's actually really helpful. So make sure that your background and rationale, your research questions, your methodology, your findings are labeled. This makes it much easier to read. The sections that you're including, like your background and rationale, your methodology that you're including from your proposal, make sure that you revise those sections so that they make sense now. Okay, I don't want you to just copy and paste from your proposal, because this is sort of a new revised document. And then make sure that you're editing together to make sure that your sections kind of all fit together as a group. Looking forward to next week, because this is our last full week of the course, I wanted to sort of give you all an idea of what's going to be coming up next week. Next week, you will have one final discussion board. There will not be a group blog next week, but you will have an evaluation and a reflection. This I'm going to use to give you a grade based on the group work that you've done. So please be honest with your evaluation and honest with your reflection. And then your research essay final draft that you guys are going to revise based on my feedback will be due next Friday. Okay, so all three of these assignments need to be finished by next Friday. There are no exceptions. Okay, so I just want to make this abundantly clear. The last day of our class is Friday, August 7th. I cannot accept late assignments. Okay, so anything that you need to get to me needs to be on Blackboard, submitted correctly in the correct format by midnight, Friday, August 7th. All right. This is really, really important because your grades for the entire course need to be finished by Monday, and I'm teaching other classes. It's going to take me some time, so I cannot accept anything late. Please, please, please keep this in mind. Overall, I am really excited to see how you guys do with these research essays. I know the last few weeks have probably been a little crazy, a little busy, a little overwhelming at times, but I think you all have been doing such great work, and I'm really proud and encouraged to see where you go from now. So please, please, please reach out if you have any questions, and I will talk to you soon.